Mr. Atiku, are you ready?
Yes, I am, sir.
Okay, all right. So let me hand over to you now. Wow. I will make Emmanuel, I'll make you the host so that in case of any network glitches, you can add other persons to the class and all that. Okay, I'll start now.
Okay, thank you very much. Uh, Um, Mr. Emmanuel, good evening. Okay, I think Mr. Isaac is back now.
Evening, sir.
Yeah, how was work today? So far, Mr. Emmanuel, is there any question, any issue on functions? Let me start from there because our today's class is going to center on the application of those functions. So I would like to ask us, since we are two on the call, so Mr. Emmanuel and Mr. Isaac, so far, is there any issue on functions? So far, the functions that we have treated, is there any issue so far on
From
functions?
my side, I don't have any. Light has
Okay,
been so epileptic here. I couldn't charge my system to run those functions,
okay. No
but I will
problem.
cover my way about if at all I encounter any.
Okay. That's good. How about Mr. Ima? Is there any issue so far? So it's like Mr. Ima is having network challenge. Okay, let me just go ahead. So all welcome to today's class. Just like I said, the last class we met last week. So today our focus is going to be on data transformation and cleaning. Data transformation and cleaning. So I'll do it this way. We'll be doing an explanation and then running the practical concurrently at the same time. So, and I would like us to share an idea so that I will know what we know, and it will help me in building what I need to build on your own knowledge. So, when we say data transformation, um, what is our own understanding of the word data transformation? Anybody can unmute and speak. Data transformation. So sorry. Having kata, so my apologies. You will bear with me, please. I'm having kata, so you bear with me.
It's fine.
S- Okay, thank you. So I was asking if our minds data transformation. I know we have been hearing the word data transformation and data cleaning.
To me, I would say data transformation is to try to convert data or make it suitable for the analysis, make it in such a way that what we want to obtain will make the data to work in such aspect. That's what I think data transformation is.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Isaac. It's a nice one. Yes. Anyone that wants to add? Is there anybody that wants to add on what Mr. Isaac has said concerning data transformation? Any addition? Okay. Anyone in the house? I think we all we all accept the definition if that's the case. So just like Mr. Isaac has said, from the word transformation. Now, data transformation usually involves converting data from its original format into either structured format, standardized format, or even meaningful format. Now, what do I mean? Now, most of the data we use from the main source, it comes from the original. Now, let's assume a questionnaire. You went and then tried to carry out a survey on someone using a questionnaire, and then after administering the questionnaire, you came and imputed the response into either an Excel sheet, or you tried to impute the response using coding into SPSS. So that data, or what you did, we call it original data, because it's from the source automatically you collected, and then you imputed it into the system. So any data that is being collected rather directly from the source is called an original data. So what data transformation does is it transforms that data that is being collected from the original source into a structured data. Now, what is a structured data? A structured data is a data that has undergone some changes. Now, why do we make it to be a structured data? Because we don't rely on original data to do analysis. Now, reason because original data have some inconsistency, has some what will I say? Some permit me to say that original data in them have no quality, so to say, have an issue with accuracy. Yes, have an issue with accuracy. So that is why we need to convert them into structured data. So that's what data transformation is. And for data cleaning, just like the name cleaning, it's used to clean up those permit me to say, those debt that are inside the data. Now, I mean, like the debt, DIRT, death, like dirty, that are inside data. So while data transformation data cleaning usually focuses on removing or fixing things like errors, things like duplicate, try to standardize the data into the actual format that is supposed to be used. Now, this is done in order to ensure that the data you are going to use for your analysis is accurate. That is why we need to, that is why for any data that is being given to you, the first thing you need to do is to what? To perform data transformation and cleaning. Now, reason because you want your final analysis to be accurate and correct. because raw data have an issue of accuracy. Now, in your raw data, you can have duplicates. In your raw data, you can have missing values. In your raw data, you can have spelling errors. In your raw data, you can have date errors, and what have you, just list them. And then that is why it is very important that you understand why we usually do data cleaning and data transformation before using data for analysis. Now, you cannot just see a data and pick it and begin to do analysis. At the end, the analysis you do with that raw data can mislead you into having something that is not actually right or correct about the data. So that is why we perform data cleaning and data transformation. So that's just all about data cleaning and data transformation. I would like to go deeper into explaining, but I would like us on our own to go and look and find out some reasons why we do data cleaning, so that you know that we don't just do data cleaning and transformation because we want to do them. No, it's because we want to have a good decision making at the end, so that the data that we are using, we can say that the data has integrity and that the data is accurate. So that's all that I have to say about data cleaning. Now, to move on with data cleaning, the first thing that I would like us to do on data cleaning is duplicate entries. Duplicate entries. Now, duplicate entries have a way of giving you or misleading you in your analysis. Because let's take, for example, you want to do an analysis of a sales data in a store, and then you decided to pick the data for just a week. You are just picking a data for just a week. So, but you know that in a week, let's assume that we have some customers, or it's not even assume, let's assume that in a week, there are some customers that can visit a shopping mall twice in a week. But you want to use that data for analysis just for a customer. Now, if you are using a data for a week, you know that there are some customers that have gone to the shop twice. And if you are trying to use the data for just a day, it's not going to actually give you the real picture of what is happening in the store. So that is why there is a need to what? If you are trying to, or if you are going to use that data, there is a need to remove duplicate. Because if you have duplicate has a way of adding or shifting or giving you something that may not really be the true picture of what is really happening. So that is why the first thing you check is duplicate data. Duplicate. So how do you remove duplicates? Now, in continuation with the data that, excuse me, that we have been using, now let's look at this name, column K. Column K, that's where the sales names are. Now, if you check column K, you will know that some sales names appeared twice. Is it not? Class, are we together? It appears twice, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, some sales data appears twice. Names rather appears twice. So now let's take, for example, you just want to, let's assume some of the names are duplicates and you want to remove duplicates. So basically, I'll just show us two ways of removing duplicates. Two ways of removing duplicates. Now, the first way is to just highlight this column K. Highlight column K, excuse me. That's where our duplicate is. So if your duplicate is not on column K, you locate the column where you want to remove the duplicate. So, but for our own now, in this case is column K. Then you go to data tab. This is our data tab. When you check on the tab section and then look at data tab, this is data, very close to the formula tab. Click on it. Now, once you click on it, these appears. Then you move towards your right, and you will see remove what? Remove duplicate. Remove duplicate. So automatically, once you click on this remove duplicate, now it says what? What do you want to do? Expand the selection, continue with what? With the current selection. So let's check the first one. Expand the what? The selection. Now, remove duplicates. Remove duplicates. Now, you left it at what? At expand the selection. So what you are telling Excel to do is, you only selected A, but when you are asking it to expand the selection, it moves to what? It also identify those columns that are close to it that also has what? The same issue. So it highlighted what? It highlighted column J and column I, which is for region and what? And for discount. If that is what you want, then you click OK. But if that is not what you want, then you go back and what? And cancel it. Cancel it. Then you go back to data tab. Still remove duplicates. And then continue with the what? With the current selection. So you are just giving the order that is going to be only on what? On the current selection. So once you click on remove duplicate, you see it's only what? Column K that is highlighted. Only column K that is highlighted. Then you now what? You now click OK. So if you want to, we have options here. If you want to deselect, you can deselect here. Unselect all, you come and unselect. If you want to select all, you come and select all. So this is another thing that I said I should just show you. So once you click on OK, so check what is happening. So it said 20 duplicate values found and what? And remove 7 unique what? Values remains. Then OK. So you see our duplicate names have been compressed to how many class? How many names are we having now? In column K. How many names are we having now? Are we together? How many names? Are we
sir.
together? 5 names, right? So
Yes,
we
sir.
have Alice, we have Bob, we have Carol, David, and Ima. So these are the unique name that we are having. So that's how to remove duplicate. That is one. Let's also go back and perform the first function we cancelled. When we were asked to select either to expand or to stay on the current. So let's try and perform the function for expand. Now expand the selection. Remove duplicates. So let's try and perform this and see. Expand. Okay. See 9 duplicate values found and remove. 17 unique values remain. Okay. Now, if you check in this situation, excuse me, in this situation, unlike the first one we did, sorry, unlike the first one we did, the second one, you see, we are still having some duplicate names because if you check now, we have the first row, the second row, 2 is Alice here. Then we also have Alice row 9. We also have Alice row 7. Now, reason because we have asked Excel to perform the function in what? In 3 different columns. So is what is performing the function not only in this Excel, in this row, but in row J and row what? And row I. So there are so many different criteria that was considered. Now, if you check discount 0.5, then 0.1, then 0. Now, if you check out the first column, which is discount, I would like to say that Excel used the first column, which is I, to perform the what? The duplicate function. Now, what do I mean? It uses this criteria, the criteria for discount, to what? To as a standard for J and what? And for K. Now, somebody may be wondering, we have 0.05 here, and we also have 0.05 here. It's not a duplicate. Reason because this 0.05 is for North, and the cell's name is Alice, but this 0.05 is for West, and the cell's name is David. So whenever you are performing the remove duplicate function, and then you are asking Excel to expand it not only on the selected column, excuse me, not only on the selected column, you're asking it to expand. So it's going to use the first column as a criteria or as a standard to what? To perform the function for all others that are also selected. So I don't know if this is understood and if this is clear. Class, can I go
Well
ahead? Can I
understood.
move ahead? Or is there any question on this?
No, sir, it's clear.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, we move to the second, excuse me, second way of removing duplicate. Now, the second way to remove duplicate is by using the conditional formatting. I know most of us know about the conditional formatting. So it's also another way of removing duplicate in conditional formatting. Now, in this case, let's also use region, not sales. Let's use region to remove duplicate. Now, for conditional formatting, the cells that you desire to carry out the remove duplicate, you go towards to the home tab, click on the home tab, and then this drop down, and then you locate by moving towards the right, you will see conditional formatting that is very close to format as table, conditional formatting. So, and what is saying on this is easily spot trends and patterns in your data using bars, columns, and icons to visualize what? To visualize highlights, to visually highlight important value. Sorry, give me just a minute. It's an emergency. Let me answer this. Let me answer this call. So sorry about that. Sorry about that. I needed to sort it out so that it will not interrupt and keep on disturbing us. So as I was saying, conditional formatting, you locate the region where you want to perform that. Now we selected J, then you go to the Home tab, then moving towards the right, you locate conditional formatting, click on it. Now, from here, you see drop down of so many things. Then you select the first one. Highlight what? Highlight cells rules. Now, beside it, you see a small arrow here. Then it's pop up this. You see greater than, less than, between, equal to, text that contains blah blah blah, a date occurring. Then the last one is what? Is duplicate value. So if you have time after this class during your own practice, try to what? Try to use all this. That's another way of perfecting your expertise. If you want to try performing all of this function to what? To try to remove what? Duplicates. If it is a value you want to remove duplicate that is greater than, you use greater than. If you want to remove duplicate less than, if you want to remove duplicate between so range to so range, if you want to remove duplicate of values that is equal to so, all these are there. But for our focus now is duplicate values. So you click on this. Now you go to what? Where values with is. So from here, if you like, you see it has already highlighted in colors those cells, excuse me, those cells that are having what? That are having duplicates. So if you want to change the color, it is here that you change the color. This small arrow, you click on it. If you want to change it to green, here, if you want to change it to yellow, you see when you click yellow, it has changed to yellow. If you click green, it has changed to green. So in this case where different colors is needed, when to apply different colors is when you are trying to remove duplicates, and then you are using conditional formatting, and then for different what? For different scenarios. Let's take, for example, you are using discount, then you want to find duplicate for greater than, you can use green, then you still come back to the same what? Column, and you want to find duplicate for less than, use a different color again, maybe red, and so on and so forth. So I'm just trying to tell us the situation whereby you can use different color. So from here, if we are okay with this color, click on what? Click on OK. So unlike the first one we perform, the first one is going to remove the duplicate for you automatically. Yes, but for this function, for this type of removing duplicates, that's using the conditional formatting, it's not going to remove it for you, but rather what it will do is going to highlight for you cells that have duplicate. So it will highlight for you cells that have duplicate. So it's now left for you to what? To know what? To know how to what? To go and delete them. So you perform the first function, the first type of removing duplicate with it. So you perform it. So, but how about if you want to perform the conditional formatting for all your data? You just control what? Control A. Control A is going to highlight everything for you. It's giving me something, Control A, or you come here and highlight it, then you can still perform the function. Data, home, come to conditional formatting, then come to highlight cells and this thing, then duplicate. So you see, so all this that are being highlighted is trying to tell you that these are what? These are duplicate data. So it's now time left for you to what? To try to sit down and filter, okay, which one are really duplicate? You go and do your what? Your cleaning. So that is the second way for us to what? To remove duplicate. So is that clear? Excuse me. Is that clear on removing duplicate? Is there any issue with removing duplicate? Okay. Now, if there is no issue with removing duplicates, now we move to removing missing what? Values. Now, what we are doing is data cleaning. That's what we are doing now, is data cleaning. Because we said data cleaning basically focuses on what? On cleaning what? Cleaning your data. So what we are doing, we are trying to clean our data. So just see duplicate as what? Has those, how do I call them? Those impurities that contaminate something. So those impurities that contaminate. So we're trying to remove the impurities. So one of it is what? Is duplicate data. That's impurity what? Number one. Now impurity number two is what? Is missing values. Missing values. Now if you check on row E, column. Somebody want to say something? Isaac, it's like you want to say something.
No, sir. A call came in and distracted my network.
Okay, sorry about that. So if you check row E, column E, row 3, we have missing value here. We have missing value also on that same row E and column E, row 8. Now, when you also move to the H, which is column M, we have an empty or a missing value in M, column M, row 10. We also have a missing value in column M, row 12. So missing values, actually, what missing value does to your analysis is that it doesn't give you the true picture of your analysis. Now let's assume for this data now, for this client, let's take this. Let me try to row 10. Now let's take that this is a client now. This is a client. And then you want to perform an analysis that talks about the age of that client. Now, if you check, we are having a total of that's 20 clients based on what is here. We have 20 clients based on the order ID. We have 20 clients. But out of these 20 clients, we have 2 clients whose age is not what? Is not there. So if you are going to do an analysis using age of this client, that means 2 clients will be having an issue because their age is not there. And because you are not the owner of the data has been sent to you. You cannot just go ahead and impute any age that you want, because doing that, you are corrupting the data. Yes, you are corrupting the data. And then when you come to doing your analysis, it's not going to tell you the real truth about that client. So the best thing to do is what? Is either to assign 0 for the age, or to what? When it comes to your analysis, or to take those 2 clients as what? Eliminate them. So that you will be dealing with how many clients? Out of 20 you eliminated 2. You will be having what? 18. So it's better you have 18 clients that is giving you a true picture than to just put in what you want, and then these two will change everything about your data. So that is why you need to what? You need to identify missing what? Missing values. So in identifying missing values, you go to, let me select this now. You want to identify missing values. Let me remove, yeah. You want to identify missing values. So let's first of all start with a column. Right. Let's start with a column. Okay, so sorry. So let's start with a column. I want to find a missing value. Let's start with a column first, then we take it all over. So using this column, column E, you want to find a missing column or missing value in this column. So you go to the Home tab. Go to the Home tab. From there, you move towards your right to the end, find and what? And select. Find and select. There is a drop-down list. Then you move towards, go to Spatial. Go towards Spatial. Then this comes up. Then from here, you select what? Blanks. Click on this because it's on what? It's on comments. So you select what? Blank, and then what? Click what? Okay. So you see what happened? It highlighted all the blank what? Cells. You see we have E what? E3, there is blank cell. Then E8, there is blank cell. So if you want to delete the blank cell, then you right click and what? And come here and locate delete. And once you click on delete, you see, it's asking you whether to shift cell up because you are deleting a cell. Automatically, it's going to affect your data, other things concerning your data. But, excuse me, what our advice is in a situation like this, since you are doing data cleaning, before you finally do your analysis, I would advise that you replace it with 0 so that it will not be that there are some things that are valuable that you have deleted and then it may be good for you in analysis. But if you want to delete here permanent, then you click on OK, and then you see it have shifted the what? The data upward. So it has deleted how many? 2. So let's undo this. But if you want to just replace it with 0, maybe when you come to your final analysis, depending on what you want to find from your analysis, then from there you can be eliminating them. If you want to replace them, excuse me, if you want to replace them, what you will do is use your what? Use your control what? Control F towards to find and replace, or you use your what? Control H to also what? Find and replace. So in this situation, if you are just finding for what? For just this column, you what? You do your control F, then find what? You are looking for empty space. So find what? An empty space. So you are not putting anything there. Then replace with what? Replace with 0. Thank God we have 0 already here. So you replace with 0. So if you want to know in that row how many empty cells you have, is what? Is to come and what? Find all. When you click on find all, you see down here, you see we have like what? 2 cells that has been highlighted. you see $, E $3. That's the first one. Then the second one, $E what? 8. So it's telling you what? How many this? 8 what? 8 cells. So if you're having more than what? 8 cells, then it's going to tell you, it's going to indicate. But if you check this, it says how many cells? 9 cells. So it also calculates down below what? Down, even up to a certain, excuse me, a certain cells. But basically it's only 2. But if you check, you see 9 cells found, but it's only 2. So if you want to replace it with 0, then you come and say replace what? Replace all. Replace all. You see? Replace all. Okay. So what you just perform, even though we perform it for just a column, but because of that replace all we did, so it went ahead to do for the whole data. So anywhere that there is no data, it just went ahead to input what? To impute 0 for us. It went ahead to impute 0 for us. Yes, but let's still go back. Let's still go back and perform it for this column. Find, replace 0, replace, sorry, find all done. We have 8 replaced. Okay. So you see, it has replaced them. So that replace all we did, we gave a command to what? To the whole data. But when we say replace, you see, this is our initial column that was having what? That was having 0 what? That was having empty cell. This column I just highlighted red. You see 0? That is 1. Then which one again? That was having 0. So if you see down to this place, so the data, why it's giving us to this place is because the data was up to this place. I think I cut it. So that's why it stopped here. So that's missing data, how to replace missing data. You locate it. If you want to delete it permanently, you go through the home tab. But if you want to replace it with 0, you use the Control F or Control H. There is another way of also finding or eliminating an empty word, an empty or a missing word, a missing value. Now, for this, the third one is using filter. And if you can remember the first class, I think we talked about filter. And we said filter is also used to is a function. I think that was the first function, part of the first function we also use. You want to filter out something based on a condition. You just want to locate only so, or you want to locate this. So, and then I don't know if somebody can remind us of the shortcut, but due to time, permit me to just go ahead. Or is there anybody that want to try and tell us the shortcut for filter? I'll perform it, but if anyone can tell us about the shortcut of filter. Anyone in the house? I've already done it. We see an arrow appearing. So shortcut for filter is Control Shift L. You hold your Control plus the Shift key, then plus what? L. So the filter appears. So once you come and locate this arrow, click on it, you see it gives you what? The number. And when you scroll down, you see what? You see blank. So if you want to only select the blank, so you deselect all, you go down and click on what? Blank. So I'm telling Excel, you only need what? The blank cells. So it's going to bring out all the blank cells for you from that row. So this is how to locate blank cells. And then if you want to, you can replace them with 0 or you leave them like that. So that is also another way using the filter. And if we can remember using our function, there is a function that we also use to locate blank cell. Please, who can remind us of that? There is a function that we use to locate a blank cell or an empty cell. Who can remind us of that function? Anyone in the house?
Sir,
Sir?
is blank function or
Yes,
count
thank you
blank?
very much. Yes, is blank function. Thank you very much. So that's that's the function that we use to count to know a cell that is what? That is blank. So that's why I said the application of those functions that we started is going to be applied here. So if you want to, you want to know, let's say for example, column row 2, you want to know how many blank cells are you having? Which function should we use? You want to know how many cells is blank in this row. Which function are we using? You want to know. Who can give it a try? You want to know the number of cells that is blank. Sir? Is somebody saying something?
So I think it's count blank.
Found blank. Okay.
Count,
Are you
count.
sure? Count blank.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's write. Count blank. So count blank. Count blank. Count blank. So our range. So you go back to your range from here down to where it stop, then you close, then you what? Enter. So how many? 3. So use count blank. So if you check, we have column F, we have 1, column H, we have another 1, column L, we have another 1. So which is 3. So if we, yes, click on it. So for every cell, it will tell you the number of what? The number of empty cells that you're having. So we are done with missing values, finding missing values and replacing missing values. Now we move to, if there is no question, we move to excuse me. We move to correcting inconsistent formats. Now, in raw data, you may get some formats that are inconsistent. Now, when it's come to date, when it's come to text, when it's come to cases or spaces, now all these things has a way of affecting our final analysis. Now, let me start with the date. This is the example we gave. So I gave us an example whereby you may see like today is 19. Today is 19. So you may have somebody can just say date here. So the format is going to be 19th, 19, 11, 20, 25. So that's going to be their format of date. And then in this situation, Excel will check this as a value. So we have this is 6 value. We have this is 6. We have 19,112,025. 19,112,025. So that's what Excel will recognize this value, but actually it's date. So inconsistent format. So for Excel, it needs to be in the date format. It needs to be in the date format. So things like dates that have inconsistency, texts that also have inconsistency, and then texts that also have issues with case, that you will see uppercase mixed with lowercase and things like that. So you can use standardize. You can standardize them to become either proper, or you can change them to uppercase or lowercase as the case may be, and then space. Now, I also told us the implication of what space might do to a data. Let's assume that this is a clean data and you want to do an analysis for product. If you want to use an analysis for product, let's assume that the first one is laptop, and then which other one do we have laptop again? We also have row 13 is also laptop. But if you check the first one, there is space before the laptop. But the one in 13, there is no space. So when you want to perform your analysis and then you're trying to give order, Excel will recognize them differently, in the sense that the first one, there is space. So it might see it as something that is very different compared to what? Compared to the first one. Now, let's do an analysis here and see. Now, using your filter. Using your filter, you see, if you scroll using your filter, you find out that there are things that the Excel is recognizing. You see chair, we have this one, I think is a spelling error, DE, is supposed to be desk. So laptop and so on and so forth. So when you go and you see laptop, see monitor that is having space. You also see monitor that is not having space, mouse, phone, shell, software, tablet with space, and you see blank. So that's why you need to what? First of all, standardize everything and make it standard. And that is why in our definition of transformation, we say it involves converting data from its original format into structured, standardized, and meaningful what? Form or format. So we need to what? We need to standardize it. If not, in our final analysis, when we want to use our data for analysis, we'll be having issues with it. So for consistency, let's start with standardizing text. Standardizing text. Now, in a situation whereby you have a text, permit me to create a column, inside a column by the site here. So want to standardize, for example, you want everything to be in what? In uppercase. So you perform the function what? Upper, so that it will change it to what? To upper, equal to upper, upper, open bracket, then text. Okay. Ima, are you saying something? Mr. Ima? Hello, Mr. Ima, are you saying something? It's like I'm hearing your voice. Okay. I guess maybe it's not aware. So if you want it to be an uppercase, so we just perform the upper what function. So it converts electronics to what? Into electronics, capital. Then if you want it to be what? You want this to be in small letter. What we just converted. Let me create another column. You want it to be what? In lowercase. So instead of performing the upper now, you convert it to what? Lower. You say lower. That one is upper. This one is lower. Open bracket. You see text. You select this text and what? And close the bracket. And it gives you back your lower. But if you check, the way the lower convert it converted everything to lower. But if you check the original text, the E is what? The E is what? Capital. So in this case, the function to perform whenever you want to have a text, excuse me, whenever you want to have a text and then you want the first letter to be capital letter is the proper function. So proper function, you open bracket and then what? Select this one and then close. So you see, that's the proper function. So this is what? The standardizing text. So you check your data and then you are seeing some issues with the text. Maybe there are mixture of upper and lower in a cell. Some are upper, some are lower. You make it to be one. Now, let's say, for example, again, not. So you may have some text whereby you see not like this, and then along the line, you see R, then you see T, capital letter, and then H, small letter. So something like this. So it may what? It may affect your final analysis. Excel can what? Can be giving it a different understanding or interpretation. So you need to make everything what? To standard. So that's where your text what? Standardization comes in. Now we are done with the text. Now, removing space. Removing space. Inconsistency formatting talks about date, text, case, and what? And space. And we treated space, right? We treated how to remove what? How to remove space. So, who can remind us of the function? Thank God we still have laptop here. And then if we want to perform the function for removing space, what function can we perform? We want to remove space. Now, we want to remove space automatically, not we want to reduce the space. We want to remove the space.
The
Come
trim
again, sir, you
function.
said? Sir?
The trim function.
Yes, the trim function. Now, let me repeat the question again. You want to remove space automatically, not that you want to reduce it. You want to remove space automatically. Which function do you want to perform? You want to remove space automatically.
Trim function.
Yes, trim function. For those texts that only applies to trim function, you use trim function. But for those texts whereby needed substitution, you perform the trim function and the substitution function. Now, I don't want to take us back. We have done it during the last class. So like this one now, this is supposed to be, tablet, I guess. Yes. This is supposed to be tablet. Let me correct it. This is supposed to be tablet. Oh. Yeah, this is supposed to be tablet. So you see, in this situation, this tablet, trim function cannot apply to it. Reason because trim function only applies to what? To space the leading before the leading word. The leading word. So trim can only apply to laptop because there's space in the leading. But in this case, trim can also apply because it's going to reduce the space for us and it will leave us with one space. So that is why we need to use both trim and what and substitution function. For those, of course, that were not in the last class, you go back to the Zoom meeting for last class and then you see this function. We have done it. So that's removing space. Now, we want to, we have not, even though for dates also, we also did it in the last class. We also did it in the last class. So for those that are not around, you also go back, refer to last class, and you see how we can perform a date function, excuse me, perform a date function to convert a format of date that has been given in this format to whichever format that we desire to also convert it to. So that's all about inconsistency formatting that deals with date, text, case, and word and space. Now, the next impurity, permit me to be using this word, the next impurity that needs to be removed is what? It's spelling. That needs to be removed is what? It's spelling. Now, so that you have the same word to mean the same thing. That our tablet here that is on the formula bar, which is basically the same thing and the same spelling with the tablet that is also in row 17, will not be seen to be different things by Excel. Because for Excel, it will take it to be different. Now, just a quick example to show us. Now, thank God our filter is already there. When you click the filter and you are going down, excuse me, you are going down this. Now, let's try to locate tablet. Yes, tablet. It's tablet, right? Good. So you see, we have tablet with space and we have the normal tablet without space. So you see, you need to what? You need to correct what? Spelling. So that when you come to your final analysis, if you're having a total of 20 tablets, you should be able to see in your final analysis that yes, the result is giving you what? 20 and not only 10 or 15 or any other number. So you need to correct what? You need to correct spelling. So to correct spelling, you select where you want to correct the spelling. If it is this row, you click on it, then you go to the review tab, the review tab that is next to the data tab, click on it. Now the spelling icon, excuse me, the spelling icon is the first that you see once you click on the review tab. So this is its spelling. You click on it. So you see, so already it's giving you what? It's giving you options. Those that are having spelling issues, it's giving you what? It's giving you options. So the first one we are seeing is what? Is monitor. Is monitor. So you can be scrolling down to check for the correct one. Monitor. So you see in the options, it's not there. Monitor. Monitor. So this is already spelling is a spelling issue, but this is what is given to you by Excel. But if it's not there, you can come and what? And type it what you want, monitor. But it's going to add to what? To the spelling that is already inside. Now, what do I mean? We'll perform the function and see. Now, let's perform it. Let's change it. You click on change. Now, once you click on change, it's going to perform the function, but because there are also some errors that needs to be what? To be addressed. So it'll be taking you to the next error one after the other. One after the other. Until you are done with the spelling error in the column completely. Then you will close it. But if you want to be checking, like the first one we did now, if you want to be checking, you want to perform a function for this, and then you want to check whether or not the spelling I just edited is affected. So we come back, let's undo our last action. Undo your last action. Good. So we have undo our action. So it takes us back to what? To monitor. So let's try to tap monitor. This is monitor. I said it's going to add monitor. Now, you click on either autocorrect or change all. Now, but before I do that, now if you check the first one, permit me to say this before. Now, if your spelling is correct, let's assume there are some things that is not there in the dictionary and then it's correct. Now, let's take, for example, there are situations whereby you may be typing some people's name and maybe some names, for example, are tribal names. Excel may be giving you suggestions or opinions that, okay, this to mean this to mean this. Now, an example is, let's say somebody's name is Ugu, for example. Ugu. Maybe let's say Emmanuel Ugu. So Emmanuel, Excel recognize that name, but Ugu, Excel can suggest so many things for you. And for you, that Ugu is correct. So in such a situation, whereby you go to spelling errors, and then the first thing you see is, instead of this monitor, where this monitor is being written, you see Ugu, and then you know that is correct. So if you want to skip that and move to the next one, is what? You say ignore what? Ignore once. You ignore once. And if you want to ignore throughout everything, you say ignore what? Ignore all. So I just say, let me just bring that to our notice. So if something is correct, and then you just want to go with the spelling the way it is, just come and say what? Ignore. And then it will move on to the next one. So back to what we're doing. We want to only perform for monitor. We want to see what we do, whether it's reflecting. You just come and click what? Change all. Change all. Then you now watch. You now close it. Spell check what? You see? You say spell check complete. You are good to what? You are good to go. Then okay. So we'll now go and locate our what? What we corrected. Our spelling. So our spelling was what? Monitor. So when you come back here, you see? That's what I was saying. Monitor. The spelling was correct. We imputed the spelling and write monitor. But you see, it added to what is automatically is. So what was there initially? Permit me to go back. You see, what was there initially is what? Is monits, and then there's space, and then what? And then or. So when we added the OR, it added it, but what? That one that is also beside is also there. So in such situation, who has an idea? Who can tell us how to go about this. Class, are we together? Who can tell
Yes,
us?
no
Yes.
idea.
So what idea are you having about how to replace this? What idea are we having about how to replace this?
Maybe we just use final replacer.
Find and replace. Good. Find and replace is also a good option. Now, why is doing that is because if you check suggestion here, Excel has already given you all suggestions that it thinks that, okay, that's the word. So any addition that you're adding, Excel is seeing it differently. And what you are doing, if you want to add it to Excel dictionary, once you type it, you come here and click what? Add to dictionary. So, but now let's perform it. Let's assume that our monitor is monitor. Are you getting it? So let's come and perform this function. Change all. Sorry, it's shell. Change all. Then you close. Check complete. You are good to go. You see, it still didn't what? Didn't remove this. So the best thing to do is what? To use the find function and what? And replace. So we go back to the spelling, what we're on, the spelling. So it will continue to, just like I said, it will continue to what? If you press on change here, it will move you to the next one. You see shell. So it has, for shell now, it has given you an option. So in this one, we will not have any issue. So you can just what? Click on this. You see, once you click on this, you say change. So it will change it automatically. Good to go. You see, our shell has been what? Has been changed. So that's how you go about doing what? Changing spellings. Spellings that have errors. You go about and change them until all the changes have been completed. Then you know that you are done with that. Now that's all about excuse me. That's all about spelling. Do we have any question on spelling? Excuse me. Do we have any question on spelling?
None from my end, sir.
Okay, okay. Alaji Gambo, are you with us? Though I know you came late, but are you with us? Do you get what we're doing? Do you get what we're doing? Gambo, and then I can see excuse me. I can see apart from Gambo, I can see Maman Abeakat James. Is he Mamman? Sorry. Mamman, sorry. Mamman. I think it's Mamman. So are you guys with us? If you are with us, you can drop a chat.
I'm with you.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So basically, excuse me. Basically, so far this is where I would like to stop on impurities. Data cleaning on impurities. So and I told us why we needed to do all these things. Why it's important for us to do all these things. So it is from this place now that you move to what we did is data cleaning and also part of data transformation. Now it is in this place now you move to transformation. Now I learned that Mr. Soji taught you how to excuse me, how to collect CSV files from, is it Google Sheet now? So yes, he said he tutored something like that with you, how to collect CSV files, you move them to, I think, Excel. Now, in transformation, after doing your data cleaning, now in transformation, now there are some analysis that you may decide to do that requires you to convert or do some codings. Yes, it may require you to do some codings. Now, I don't want to start transformation now, even though I'll just give you, since it's a basic class, I'll just give you one or two fundamental things that you need to do and know on transformation. Now, when it comes to transformation, why excuse me, why we do transformation? Now, we also did transformation for the same reason why we do data cleaning. Now, when it comes to final analysis, we want to ensure that our statistical model that we're using is compactable. We want to ensure compactability. Now, let's say, for example, survey data. Survey data. You use a questionnaire, you administer a questionnaire to somebody, and then let's assume the Google form you use. Now, it's very easy for you to pick it from the Kobo Collect and then to bring it into Excel. Now, fine and good. Now, if you want to use it for analysis, there are some responses that needs coding. Now, that's where transformation comes in. Now, for example, like male and female. Male and what? And female. If you want to do analysis with that, you need to code it. Coding it into either male to be 1 or female to be 1, rather female to be 2, or vice versa, anyhow you want to do it. Now, because in types of data transformation, we have what we call encoding. You want to code the data depending on what? On how your raw data is and what you are looking for. So in transformation, this is one type of data transformation, encoding. You encode it to give you you encode it to give you to suit what you want to look out for. Now, we'll also come and do data visualization using Excel, data visualization using pivot table, and then we'll also give us like an appetizer on how to create dashboard using Excel. Yes, but let's take that you want to use Excel to perform some analysis. There are some datas. Let's say, for example, in pivot table, even in pivot table, some datas you need to code them. So that's what data transformation is. You try to restructure even the clean data to what? Suiting the compactability of your statistical modeling. So it's not that modeling transformation is done after cleaning. You can do both the data cleaning and transformation at the same time. Yes, you can do it at the same time. But I'm separating it so that we know that, okay, this is what data cleaning is. And this is what transformation, data transformation is. Now, even the standardization that we did, the text standardization we did, is also a type of what? A type of data transformation. Yes, is a type of data transformation. The upper, the lower, the proper, and so on and so forth. They are all type of what? Of data transformation. So that's why I say they are done concurrently at the same time. They are all data type of data transformation. So it's not that it's done differently. The standardization we did is a type of data transformation, and we have done it. Encoding, we have not done it, but it's just simple. Yes, it's just coding. Let's take, for example, let me use this. If you want to use an analysis, permit me to use this. If you want to use an analysis in this, you want electronics. Insert. You want electronics. You want electronics to be 1, and then you want furniture to be 2, then the next accessories to be 3. Now you can code it in this way. Now, the software for coding that is best for coding that can help you is the SPSS. Yes, the SPSS software can code for you perfectly. Yes, and then you will not have any issues because there are some inbuilt things that are there in them that it can be done. But if you want to code here, you have to use drop-down list here. Yes, you have to impute data validation rule. So for this one now, you just click here, the next cell, come to data validation, come to data validation here. So go to what? Any value, then list. Are you getting it? You hear list. So here you'll be listing. So if you want electronics, where electronics is, then you can now code it. Electronics is equals to 1. Electronics. You want electronics to what? To represent 1. Then comma. Then you want or let's just do this way. We know that electronics to be 1, then comma, then you want furniture to be 2. Excuse me. Comma. Then the next one is accessories to be 3. Accessories to be 3. 3, comma. Then which one now do you have? So that's it, 3. So okay. So you see automatically there is an arrow that is created here. So you see 1, 2, 3. So where it is electronics, you just come and click 1 here. Where is electronics? Okay, we need to apply it to, sorry. Yes, you apply it, but you come and be changing. Electronics is still 1, you leave it at 1. Then you come to furniture. Furniture is what? Is 2. You select 2. Furniture is 2. You change it to 2. So that's all about coding. Electronics 1, you leave it at 1. Furniture is 2. You come and select your drop-down list, 2. Electronics is 1. Furniture is 2. Accessories. So accessories is 3. So this, excuse me. This is, sorry about that. This is coding. Yes, what you are doing is coding. So you are trying to code so that when you come to your analysis, you know that if you are using category, you don't want any word. Let's say, for example, SPSS. You want to use SPSS or you want to use pivot table to just do a visualization or analysis. You know that if it is 1, it's talking about electronics. If it is 2, it's talking about furniture. If it is 3, excuse me, it's talking about if it is 3, it's talking about accessories. So that's coding. Now I've explained like two types of transformation, the encoding, the standardization. Now another type of common transformation or type of transformation. Should I classify it as type now? Or permit me to say techniques also. Some of these words are interchangeable. So techniques, some common transformation techniques too, is the one we did like filtering. We treated filtering. So it's also a type of techniques that we also use. Now, and another one is also the combining and merging. Now, if you can remember, we use concatenate. I think it's in this class we treated concatenate functions, whereby it's part of the function we did, the first class. So if you're forgotten, you can revert back to the first class and check concatenate, whereby you bring two texts together. Let's say, for example, in a situation whereby we have name of a person, the name is in column what? B, and the surname is in column C, and you want to match them together in column D. So the function that you do is what? You perform a concatenate function. Now, for this, let's try to perform it again, just for familiarity's sake. Concatenate. Let's familiar ourselves, get familiar with it, concatenate. So you see text one, we want to bring laptop, comma, and I told you that if you want a space between them, then you have to what? You have to raise a parenthesis, then determine how many space, this one space, two space, then close it, then put the comma. So it has already indicated that what we did is text 2. Then you click on text 3, and then you close your bracket, and then you see your laptop. So this is the concatenate function. It's also a technique used in data transformation. Now, aggregation is also a technique, and we have done it. Now, I told us the first class we treated how that the first thing we saw was the first function, the classes of function we saw was the core calculation function. If we can remember that class, the core calculation function. And I told us that why they are called core is because of they have one thing that makes them unique, is because they are functions that tells you, on the look of it, it tells you everything about the data. Now, like sum, when you sum something, it tells you that this data, let's assume we summed, this is unit price. We have done it. This is unit price. So let's sum unit price equals to sum, open bracket, we sum it from beginning to the end. Then you close it. This is the sum function. So this is a sum function. So it tells you everything about this data, that the total sum of the cells of this data is what? Is 6,403. And that is why it's being classified as what? Core calculation. And for a technique in data transformation, is called the aggregation what? Function, because it summarizes the what? The data for you. And we also saw average. Average tells you everything about the data. Also count and count A. It tells you everything about the data. So these are called core calculation, and for data transformation, we call them as what? Aggregate what? Technique, and especially the sum. That's the aggregate technique. So that's all about function and excuse me, it's rather data cleaning and transformation. So do well to continue to learn more, go online, pick data, and perform all these things. And you can also check online and read more on this. If I don't know if my explanation is not clear enough, but if it is, to thank God. If it is not, you can also go online and check places or areas where you think that you needed more clarity or more understanding. So that's all about data cleaning and transformation. And that's where it's going to be, sorry, the end of our class for today. So on Friday is going to be our next class, and then it's going to be 7 on a dot. So let's take note. Wednesday, because of my work, I have to be making it 7:30. But for Friday, we hope to always set it by 7 so that those things that we're supposed to cover on Wednesday will also cover it. So what is left for us now is data visualization. Data visualization. So trusting God, on Friday, we're going to take data visualization. We'll start by taking data visualization using Excel, then data visualization using not Power BI, using pivot table, because somebody will come and take you data visualization using pivot by Power BI. Then the last one is going to be data creating rather a dashboard using Excel. So that's I think where my own class is going to stop. So far, I don't know, based on what we treated today, is there any question? Any question or any place that we needed clarity? Is there any question, Mr. Isaac, Mr. Mamman, and then Alaji Gambo? Is there any question? Is there any issue? Mr. Emmanuel, any issue?
Well, I don't think there is.
Okay, from your side, thank you very much.
Good evening.
Yes, evening, ma.
How is work?
So we
Well,
thank God, ma.
with the lectures and presentation. So for now, I don't have questions because the lectures was on and off for me.
Okay, so sorry about that.
I'll go through the lectures later.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. Okay, no problem. Mr. Emmanuel, are we good? Is there any issue, Mr. Emma? Mr. Emma, are we good to go? I think Mr. Mamman James.
Yeah, we are good. We are good, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate. So if there is any issue, but I will always advise what usually keeps us going in data as data analysts is this, an MIE. Sometimes in our excuse me, sometimes in our leisure time, we go and pick data and just try to play with them. Try to see more insight. I was explaining to somebody that he wants to know, he was asking me the last batch that he just wants to know how to do data cleaning. I said data cleaning is simple now. Once you just see a raw data, the first thing you need to do is start looking through the data. Okay, by looking at, first of all, the headers. What does the header says? And what are you seeing in what? In the cells. For example, column A talks about order ID. So you go around and check. Okay, this one is talking about order ID. It fits. Then you go next. It's talked about what? Product. Then you try to go down and check. Now let's assume we just got this data. So from here, you start asking question. Okay, this one, is it tablet or which kind of product is this? You start asking questions. But first of all, you also need to know where the data is coming from. Because he brought the data to me and we're trying to analyze. Now, did his data actually came from I think was it from the Philippines? And then from the names, you cannot say that it's error. Some of their names and some of their dissing, you also have to get familiar with it. If you are using their product, if you say this product is being sold in Philippines, for example, so which in Nigeria, some of them we might see at, no, this one, we don't know this one, and then you rule it out that no, it's not a product. So you also need to know where the data is coming from and then what is available there so that you will not come and be ruling out some things that are important. So that's how the first thing you need to start doing on data cleaning. Okay, pick the data and be checking. Okay, this one says products. Okay, these are products. Yes, I know this one. I don't know this one. Go online, check. What does this? Is it a product? If it's not a product, that means you have identified an issue that need to be cleansed, which is one in column this. You move to the next category. Okay, you try to check categories. Okay, this one is categorized under this one is categorized under this. Is there anyone that doesn't have a category? You move. That's data cleaning. So you try as much as possible. I try to tell people that use the data that you are familiar with. Let's say, for example, you are a health personnel. So use health data. Start with health data because that's what you know, that's what you're familiar with. From there, you move to other categories. If you are not in the health sector, you are in the market sector, use the sales data. If you're in the academic sector, use the academic sector. So that's my advice. So having said that, if so sorry, the class has been so tough for me because of the kata. So sorry about that. If there is no any other I think I'll just say good night to everybody, and I wish each and every one of us a restful night. Thank you, and see you on Friday.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Likewise.
Okay, now you too. Good night, sir.